Hello, Shiny family. I just returned home back from the grocery store. I am starting to prepare dinner for the family, and I've washed my Brussels sprouts, and I am thinly slicing them, getting ready to cook on the stovetop. Do you like to cook Brussels sprouts? If so, I'd love to hear how you like to cook yours. I typically cook these a lot, and sometimes we'll leave them whole, but then I also like to slice them up like this, just for something a little different. The first time I ever heard of Brussels sprouts was when me and my husband was dating years ago when I was still in high school. His family used to cook them all the time, and they still do, but I had never had Brussels sprouts before, and so I've really grown to like them. So here I'm continuing to slice them, and you may be asking, why in the world is this girl not using a cutting board? Why is she using a white paper plate to cut these things on? And I'll just be honest with you. If I can bypass a step, honey, I'm going to. So for me to have to get the cutting board out and use it and still have to wash it, no, not for me. I'm going to use a paper plate, get the job done, and whenever I'm done, I can just toss the paper plate in the trash. Okay, so I'm going to keep putting these over in the pan where I will cook them on the stovetop. And once I have everything in there evenly, I'm going to add some salt and pepper. So here I'm going to go ahead and add the salt. I just try to sprinkle enough across the top this evenly. I don't usually measure. I'm going to do the same with the pepper. And these little salt and pepper grinders came from QVC that my mother gave me. I'm going to use these onion chips. It's a Zatarain brand. I cook with those a lot. And I'm going to drizzle a light coat of olive oil back and forth until I make it all the way to the other side. Notice I'm doing a very light coat. So I'm going to stir around until I feel like everything is covered kind of evenly and, gets the salt and pepper and onions mixed up. So once I stir that up well, I'm going to go ahead and turn the eye on my stove. And I'm going to cook it on medium-low heat for 15 to 20 minutes. And as they're, starting to cook and everything, I'm going to continue to keep stirring them along the way. And I will eventually put a top on, and that way they can continue to simmer for that amount of time. It may seem like a lot of stirring, but really and truly, if you are cooking several other dishes at one time and you can't stir this much, it's not going to be the end of the world. You can, just keep doing what you're doing and, stir as often as you can. That's one thing I like about cooking is I try to just go with the flow, not stress out too much, and have to go by a specific recipe and do exactly everything they say step by step. Have our little friend in the background back there. She knows it's dinner time and it's coming to check things out. So I'm going to check them and see how tender they look like they've kind of shriveled up or whatever. That's because they become tender. And the discoloration of some of them, that's what you're looking for. These are actually just about ready. So I'm going to put my lid back on and actually turn my eye off and just let them sit with the heat and steam still under there. So now here are my tuna steaks. I purchased these at the Fresh Market Cafe near us. And I put them and wrap them individually in foil. I'm going to bake them at 400 for 10 to 12 minutes. And these are the seasons that I use. The Montreal steak season and ginger wasabi teriyaki. So after those 10 to 12 minutes, here you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this time together watching me prepare this meal for my family. I hope that it inspires you to get in the kitchen and prepare something for your family or try something new. Most importantly, remember to stay shiny. See you next time.